So that evolved and got better over time. Mom and dad were struggling to make their way in life, and then to be able to wrap their mind around not raising their boys. That had to take some serious mental gymnastics and emotional energy to do that. And I was actually not interested in connecting with my parents until after I became a Christian. And it was at that point that I realized that it would be healthier for me and healthier for them, healthier for my children, because children crave grandparents, and they deserve that. Children don't, I don't want to perpetuate a problem by robbing my children of their grandparents. Nip that in the bud. Don't pass that on. I was denied my parents, and I don't want to deny my children their grandparents, because that would just be a terrible, terrible thing. And I would not have thought that way if I hadn't learned to appreciate the way Jesus thinks about life and living, and knowing that Jesus would forgive and try to build relationships despite the hardships that make up our history, that painful past and hurtful history that I referred to on the TV show. So it was a very difficult thing for my mom and dad, and for me. It was awkward, it was challenging, it was emotionally difficult. But in time, it worked. And then eventually my older brother also became a Christian after years of trying life other ways. And then it led him to want to reach out to mom and dad and to build a relationship that was, difficult. And so I'm happy that it all worked out that way. We now, Barbara and I, go on vacations with mom and her boyfriend, who just recently got married. So now they're husband and wife. So over the last 20 years, we have gone on lots of vacations together and spent holidays. So, making up for what was lost is not a reality or a possibility in this lifetime. Can't go back and feel like I was raised by my mom and dad, and that they were at every ball game and at every parent-teacher conference and were with me at every milestone in my life. Can't go back and make that happen, but I can make memories that I can look back on for the rest of my life and be thankful for that.
Yeah, that decision, when you mentioned you had a conversion and then you decided to work on that relationship. Was that decision to work on that relationship, did it happen kind of as an overnight thing? Was there some sort of experience that spurred you in that direction, or was it kind of a slow awakening, as like you mentioned with children and your own family, that you realized it would probably be beneficial to try and repair that?
So it really did all kind of come together. A lot of life landmarks came together at one time. My wife and I were expecting our first child. And so then I felt like in order for my child to have a happy home and a happy life, I need to be a Christian like my uncle. So then that's when I reached out to Jesus and made that connection. And then at the same time with that came, wanting to look at who I am as a person and what I need to do in order to be the best person, so I can be a great husband and a great father to my children. And this is a lot. I was only 22 years old at the time, and that's a lot for a 22-year-old fella coming from my background to wrap your mind and heart around. And so being in that, focusing on that relationship with Jesus enabled me to make decisions that I probably never would have. I probably wouldn't have connected with my parents. I might have still been bitter and angry about that. And then that would have been miserable for my children. I doubt that my wife and children would have loved me anyhow as a person, because I was pretty jacked up, from the way things had gone in my life up to that point. And I needed a lot of healing and a lot of changes, and I need to evolve as a person. And so connecting with Jesus in that way enabled me to be the kind of father that my children can love, to be the kind of person that my wife could love. And then here's my parents. I want my kids to have grandparents. And I actually want to have parents too. And I want to be able to call somebody mom. I want to be able to call somebody dad, and have that mean something deeply and wonderfully, and have that be a beautiful thing. I wanted that, and I didn't have it. And my aunt and uncle, they were, Aunt Monty and Uncle H.O. They weren't mom and dad, and I couldn't go there with them. And so there was a lot of wonderful, meaningful, powerful things that happened all in a short amount of time, I'd say within a year. But yeah, it all just converged and fortunately happened in a way that was the best thing for me.